Hey everybody, Mike Nelson here from EfficientLending.net. Thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel or my blog. Always appreciate it. I'm always honored when people come to check out my content that's online. Hey, today we are doing series number 2 in our insurance series for the state of Florida. As always, our expert in Florida insurance from State Insurance, Leo Young, is providing the content, the analysis, and the expertise. And I got to tell you, I love what he's doing for us here today. It's on elevation certificates and flood determination. It is good stuff. So listen all the way through, and please get in touch with Leo. His contact information is here on the video. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts. And also, if you're interested in doing a lunch and learn or a gathering in the Tampa area, we're going to do that probably in the end of July, probably end of August. We got to figure that exact date out. But we'd love to hear from you if you're interested. As always, thanks again for checking out our content. Hope you have a wonderful weekend and happy selling.
Hello again, agents. This is Leo Young from State Insurance, and we've done a few segments here on flood insurance, and it's so popular we're going to dive down a little bit more into this and start talking about elevation certificates. Here's the big thing I need you guys to remember on elevation certificates. The first order of business is determining whether the home is in a flood zone or not. And as you can see in front of you, you have an elevation or you have a flood determination. This is the first thing you need to do. Every property that you want to put a contract in on, you have under contract, you want to list, or that you're listing now, needs to have a flood determination. Do not rely on the property appraiser or the Realist or Zillow or any other thing like that. You need to call your agent or call us at State Insurance, reach out to me directly to run a determination. If we determine that that property is in an A, Alpha, or V Victor zone, there is a next step, and the next step is getting an elevation certificate. Remember, we cannot bind or quote any flood policies without an elevation certificate if the property was built in 1975 to present for most communities. And if you missed our little segment on that, refer back to your realtor cheat sheet, which everybody listening to this should have. If you don't, I'll tell you how to get one in the end. The 75 and newer for almost all communities in Florida needs an elevation certificate. Now, looking in front of you right now is an actual elevation certificate. Now, this is stuff that you don't need to know. All this information on here, you don't need to know. The big thing you want to make sure is the very first section, A, the address is accurate. Many times the surveyor will not do a certificate on the correct house. If we don't have the correct house, it doesn't count. Make sure you have the correct house. And then we go into the B section. This is stuff that we use as insurance agents that you really don't need. But if you look in B8, Bravo 8, it identifies flood zone. Look at B8. What flood zone is this particular home in? It is in an AE, Alpha Echo. That means, according to your insurance cheat sheet, yes, flood insurance is required if the property is financed. Moving further down into section C, you can see all of these measurements, 4.36 for the top of bottom, the LANG, the LAG, the base flood elevation, the BFE, all these acronyms in there. None of that you need to worry about. Rookie agents will make the mistake of looking at these numbers, and the bigger the numbers, they think the higher the premium. Please do not look into this. This is the information that we use to put into our rating system that compares this property to a flood map, to an existing map of the land. There's no way to determine at all premium pricing or the expensive flood or how inexpensive flood is by looking at how large or small these numbers are, because they're compared to other data which you don't have. We have that data. That's why you need to call your insurance agent prior to contracting or at the time of contracting to determine the flood zone. And then if it's is in a A or a V zone, if it's built after 1975 for most communities, we need an elevation certificate. Most of the time the buyer pays for this, then we can get them a quote. Last little bit here, You can see in this last little section, Section D, survey engineer architect must stamp this and sign it with all of their credentials. If it is not that way, then it doesn't count and I can't use it. That's actually the first thing I look at, is whether it's a valid survey which I can use, or certificate that I can use. Now, you ready? Realtor hack. Pay attention. If the property has an existing flood policy, your buyer can simply purchase that policy from the owner. That's right. There's some paperwork that we have to do to transfer it, but flood insurance is the only insurance policy that is transferable. So if you're an agent, you call us and say, run this property determination. Determination comes back, it's in an A zone or a B zone. Your next call should be the agent and the owner of the property. Does the owner have a flood policy? Is it current? If the answer is yes, call us to get the paperwork and tell them to just buy it. Don't even go through this process if they have an existing flood policy. Just buy it directly from the owner. We can transfer it the day of closing and forego all kinds of fees and surveyors and engineers and all that stuff. If there's not an existing flood policy, then we have to have the elevation certificate, incur the expense, and write a brand new flood policy. If there's one on there, you can buy it. I know this is a little bit confusing. If you have any questions on this, please drop me an email, quotes@stateinsuranceonline.com, and I can take you through the process. It's actually very simple. It's a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. I want to wish everybody happy selling, and go get them.